good.
Shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders, a great millstone for teaching this truth according to the Bible. A sincere shalom to all the fellow laborers who push this truth and believe in this truth in the last days as we are called to do so. A whole lot coming out, whole lot being discussed, whole lot of things happening prophetically. All right. You know, this will be a quick video, but really all I got to say is this place has got to go. All right. And that spirit has been on a lot of the videos that I'm watching from elders and from brothers and from, you know, just people that are exposing this truth. All right. This place has got to go. And this is the reason why there's so many chapters in the Bible dedicated to the destruction that the Lord is going to bring to Babylon the Great. All right. So let's watch this video.
So Pam Bondi's being absolutely grilled right now, which she should, asking if she's going to investigate and prosecute any of these satanic pedo baby-eating ghoul monsters. And this is her response.
The Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan?
Mag.
So, in response to the files coming out with a whole bunch of names in them and everything being redacted and there's no prosecution, the FBI closed the case. DOJ is no longer going to be pursuing these allegations, which we know they're not allegations. We know what's in those files. And there's pretty much people that have already been named that we know damn well why they're in those files. And her response to the question as to why they're not prosecuting is because the Dow is up, the S&P 500 is up, IRAs and 401ks are making money. That's her response. That's the reason she gave. All right. Now we know we're not going to get any justice from these devils. All right. We're not going to get any justice. In rulership, only wickedness can abound. All right. Let's go over to the blue letter. I just put up Isaiah 13. All right. Because I just want to get a few things out of here. Then we'll hop over to Jeremiah 49. Where was I? Isaiah 13. It's like Isaiah 13 and verse. I'll start at verse 17, and it says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." So when Russia, okay, which is the Medes, is going to come against the United States of America, this is for judgment. Everything that's going on, everything being exposed, okay, you regular people, you're not going to see justice done to these people until the Lord brings judgment, okay, upon these people for what they've done, okay, and really upon the entire nation of Esau, Edom, because, hey, let's face it, all of these so-called white people are devils, okay, all the ones that are Edomites, by the way, because you do have Israelites amongst them. All right, verse 18 says, "Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children." When these missiles hit, everybody that's left here is going to get burnt up. It says, "And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when Yahweh, okay, overthroweth Sodom and Gomorrah." So when the Lord overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, which is exactly what did he do? He incinerated it. He sent two angels to use spiritual power to destroy, okay, those cities, okay, and it was 5 cities. But That's exactly what the United States needs. Okay, you're over here talking about stock market, the DOJ or the S&P 500 and IRAs and 401ks, but this place just got to go. It just got to be taken off the map of the earth. All right, verse 20 says, "It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there." See, this is how you know that it's not talking about ancient Babylon and Mesopotamia. This is talking about America, because ancient Babylon, okay, that modern day Iraq is definitely inhabited by millions of people. People, the Arabians are there, the Medes are there, the Persians are there, okay? That Mesopotamian, ancient Babylonian land is not completely and totally destroyed, and it has many people that live there. So this is talking about a different place, all right? It's talking about the United States of America. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Okay, let's go watch this other video that I was looking at. All right, got a couple saved. All right.
Levels, including the local sheriff and including how is anyone who had anything to do with this demon still walking around free? These people are eating kids. And when Jeffrey Epstein started coming under scrutiny, he ordered sulfuric acid by the drum, and he started dissolving kids because he had to get rid of their remains. And let's not be naive here. This jerky business wasn't confined to Epstein Island. I mentioned Zorro Ranch earlier. That's worth mentioning again. We need to know more about what the hell was going on at that place. We've all had our attention directed toward Epstein Island, but what about the Epstein Ranch? That place was 30 miles removed from the closest city. It was over 10,000 acres in the middle of the desert. And Jeffrey Epstein had paid off and compromised government officials in that surrounding area at all levels, including the local sheriff and including the governor, Bill Richardson, who was a longtime well-known Epstein associate. Before we all knew that Donald Trump and Howard Lutnick were hanging around with Jeffrey Epstein, everybody knew that Bill Richardson was one of his top clients. He was flying around on that Lolita Express with Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton. And at Zorro Ranch, Epstein was flying people in and out by plane and by helicopter. He had an airstrip. He had a helicopter.
People, this has been going on for so long that these people really thought that they were immune. They thought they were invincible. All right, let's go to Job 27. And let's start at 13. And it says, "This is the portion of a wicked man with God, with the Most High Yahweh, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and if his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep." Okay, so these curses that we're currently under as Israelites are going to be bestowed upon the Edomites, all right, the wicked ones, for everything they've done, all right, against children, okay, against innocents. They're going to pay. They're going to pay, all right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way around it. They are going to pay dearly. Lord said, like, right, what did he say? Those that remain of him, the Edomites, shall be buried in death. Read it in the NLT. It says, those who survive will die of a plague, and not even their widows will mourn them. Yeah, the so-called white woman don't even want her men, okay? This is how you know. Elder Malcolm says it all the time. That's how you know they're under the curses, because their women don't want them. Their women, so-called white woman, she wants Jake, all right? She wants, okay, the Israelite man, primarily of the southern tribe, Judah, okay? They do get with the northern tribes as well, but, the Edomite women primarily, are attracted to Jake, all right? It says, though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on. Yeah, everything they have is going to be transferred in ownership, okay, and an authority to the elect of the nation of Israel, starting with Yahushai, okay, then the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. It says, and the innocent shall divide their silver. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. Terrors take hold of him. And it says terrors take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. So these judgments are getting ready to be poured out, okay, like a storm upon these people. Okay, they need to be taken out of power, because if they're not taken out of power, they're going to continue to do this until all of humanity is destroyed. Okay, they can no longer rule this planet Earth. Okay, and at this point, anybody that's questioning whether we're at the end, how can you question whether we're at the end? What more exposure? What more prophetic events? What more signs do you need to see to understand that this is the return of Yahushua? This is the fall of Esau's kingdom and the rising of the kingdom of heaven, okay, which is Yahushua's kingdom and the rest of the elects, okay? What more do you need to see? I mean, there's really not much more that can be said, right? Jeremiah 49. Let's go down a little bit. And 7, it says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring calamity of Esau upon him in the time that I will visit him. So once again, like I said, the Lord is going to be the one to bring that judgment upon these Edomites. The Lord is going to be the one that is going to bring judgment upon these Edomites. All right. And these guys, like to pretend, like this guy right here, he likes to pretend like he's separate from these JWOs, but he's an Edomite as well. OK, now I've been watching a few of his videos. He could be, I wouldn't be surprised if he was an Israelite. He could be an Israelite. But you get the gist, right? You get the gist. These proud American patriotic white people, Christian nationalist, American hoorah, against the Jews and all that. They're also Edomites, okay? They try to separate themselves, but guess what? They are the same people, all right? Let's get this last video I wanted to show, all right?
What about the rest of us? Why aren't we protected? What are these goy? Do you know what this is?
I mean, I've heard the term, but what does it mean? It's
I think it means slaves, right? Nation cattle. Yeah, it's a racial slur to everybody that's not Jewish. This is in these files, like,
and she's saying
everywhere. Not just her. Epstein's talking to the former Prime Minister of Israel. And what is that? What's going on? And then we see all these laws being passed here in the States for anti-Semitism. What about the rest of us? Why aren't we protecting the rest of us? I wanted to do DNA tests from what's that website, Jim? 23andMe.
Yeah.
And she only wanted to work with people that are 98% Jewish or more. And then, I don't know, she thinks they're smarter. She says they're smarter than all the rest of us.
She said that on it's around the emails.
Yep.
Well, they're not too smart because they're getting exposed right now by the Heavenly Father. All right. Everything they do is coming out in the open. All right. Let's get another chapter just so we can wrap this up. All right. Let's get Obadiah. Of course, when we're talking about Esau, we got to go to Obadiah, right? Start at 1. Obadiah 1:1, it says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and the ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So everybody wants to come against these Edomites now. They're greatly despised. They're hated amongst all the nations. Let's read that first verse in the NLT. It says, the vision that the sovereign Lord Yahweh revealed to Obadiah concerning the land of Edom. Okay. And it's not really necessarily talking about the land of southern Jordan. It's talking about the people of Edom. It says, we have heard a message from the Lord that an ambassador was sent to the nations to say, get ready, everyone. Let's assemble our armies and attack Edom. And that's what's going to happen. Everyone's going to turn against these so-called white people. All right, these so-called Europeans that are their leaders, their elites are the ones that are draining the earth of its energy. They're the ones that conquer and dominate and destroy and kill and rape and rob. They're the ones that are eating these little babies. They're the ones that are storing up this, what was the term, jerky. They're the ones that are practicing black witch magic to keep their power and domination over the earth, okay, and sacrificing children. All right, these are Edomites. All right, behold, verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. That's why everybody hates them. Okay, everybody hates them because they're being exposed for who they truly are. Vampires, devils. All right, it says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? The Lord will. All right, the Lord will. We just read that, okay, in Jeremiah 49. Okay, the Lord's going to bring that judgment. Also in Isaiah, the 13th chapter. Thou that exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So these people are done, man. All right, the Lord's going to bring them down. They're going to, that term goy, okay, for cattle, it means cattle. All right, that's what they call the rest of the people. But not knowing that they're actually the goy. All right, they're actually the cattle that are going to be used in the kingdom. Amalek is going to have a real hard time in the kingdom, man. Of all the Edomites, okay, the Edomites are just going to get tore up. But the Amalekites, boy, I tell you what, they're gonna get a double portion of what everybody else gets. All right, so you get the point. This place has got to go. The Heavenly Father is going to be the one to do it. Okay, He's going to get the glory. He's going to get the praise. The names of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai will be exalted. Okay, and that's why we do this. That's why we bring these videos out, to exalt the name and the prophecies and the will of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, okay, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. So with that, I'll give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakah, Kodash, Shalom.